I already put it on this, so then once I get out of this, I'll still already be recording, right?
Yes. Just let you know, Ernie dropped off the.
Oh, Ernie, that Ernie. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Great, thank you. One, two, three, four.
Houses from Deeds. Okay. She says she's having trouble.
I think Amanda tested all of them. I just want to make sure.
Did you warn her? Did you warn her? I should have, yeah.
It's almost time for the meeting, so we're putting on our mics.
Oh, God.
Tell us how you really feel.
Do this backwards. Okay, I got it now.
Well,
I'm not really. The other way.
Now, the key is, how do I put this stupid thing on?
This goes on the back of your head.
Oh, that goes in the back, that goes in the back. Okay, the mic is on the left.
The mic is on the left.
Oh, okay.
We're looking to get,
well, the outside, yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, gosh.
and you just want to get it over here.
It's going to
But she's down.
on it today.
Snakes right in.
Okay.
But we need to make this up, so it's kind of near your mouth.
Okay. Okay. I think we're good. Thank you. Yeah. Wait, I think I'm on. I don't want to be on.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How you doing, Denise?
To get this in, so it comes down over my
Recycled.
ears. How do you?
Yep.
Good to see you. Welcome back. New
Yeah.
year. Same problems. See ya.
Ooh, that is
Always.
sticking out, huh?
Always. It's a good busy day.
Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, thank you.
It should be
We only
February,
have
March
4, which is a
timeframe.
quorum.
Oh, yeah, just barely. Here's Josh. And Wes.
We have not done that. We've been trying to seal that deal so we can design it. We finally got that in writing. I know. I think.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, it's November 5th, 2025, and the time is 3 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us for the Transportation Safety Advisory Committee meeting. Before I proceed with roll call, I'd like to take this opportunity to announce that this meeting will be recorded and posted online. Please be sure to have your headsets on and functioning when speaking so that the recording will capture all that you have to say. I'll now proceed with the roll call. When I call your name, please say here or present. Chairperson Schmidt.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Depke.
Here.
And planning, TSAC members Frank Trapasso,
Here.
Denise Fortenberry,
Here.
John Wall is not present, Sharon Brimhall,
Here.
and Josh Cook.
Oh, here.
With 6 members of the Transportation Safety Advisory Committee present, a quorum is declared.
Do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Christina, we don't have anybody signed up to speak today, citizens?
No, sir.
Okay. So going to the consent agenda. We have
Just the approval of the minutes.
We have 2 sets of minutes to review. One is on August the 6th. Is there any, are there any comments on that?
We only have August 6th minutes,
Yeah.
sir.
Pardon me?
We have 1 set of minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So on the 1 set of minutes on August the 6th, anyone, are there any comments on that? I guess we're okay.
I move we approve.
Second?
Second.
Sharon, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay.
I'll take the next item. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the election of officers. We'll begin with the office of chair. Nominations will be taken from the floor. And if more than one person is nominated, we'll proceed with a written ballot to allow members to vote privately. The floor is now open for nominations for the office of chair. No seconds are required. Please state your nominations.
Go ahead and nominate Al Schmidt as chair.
Al Schmidt for
Yeah.
chair
Yeah.
from Josh.
And I nominate Chris Depke for chair.
Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are now closed. Amanda will be handing out ballots. In order to allow members to vote freely and without undue pressure, the election will be conducted by written ballot. The nominees are Al Schmidt and Chris Depke. Amanda is distributing, and she will also collect and count the ballots. When you receive your ballot, please write the name of the nominee you wish to elect as chair. Don't sign your ballot. When you're finished, fold the ballot once, and Amanda will pick it up.
Okay, you wrote down both names. Which one are you voting for?
Oh, you want both? I am
No, you
voting.
need to vote for one.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yes, we'll do that. Next, we have to appoint someone for vice chair. I'll take nominations from the floor. Do we have any nominations?
I think we should wait. I think we should wait.
I'm sorry?
I think we should wait
You
till we
want to
know.
wait? We have the ballots cast. Al Schmidt received 4 votes, and Chris Depke 2.
Okay.
With 6 ballots cast, the majority votes is for Al Schmidt.
I need to give it a
So
second
congratulations, Chair Al Schmidt. We'll move to the next, which would be vice chair. We'll go through the same process. Nominations from the floor. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Chris.
Okay, so Sharon is nominating Chris. Do we have any other nominations? Okay. We have 1 nomination for the office of vice chair, which is Al Schmidt. If there's no objection, Al Schmidt will be elected by acclamation. Oh,
Chris.
Chris Depke, I'm so sorry. If there's no objection, Chris Depke will be elected by acclamation. Hearing no objection, Chris Depke is elected as vice chair. Congratulations.
So we move on to the next item.
Yes, we can move on to the next item.
The next item is discussion and possible action on a proposed Transportation Safety Advisory Committee submittal checklist. And both myself and Chris have some input on that initially. Some background on that. And I think I had sent to everyone copies of some of the backgrounds on this, the Texas codes and things. Back a couple of meetings ago, back when we had no Liassi and battle intense tie votes, after that tie vote, our mayor suggested to me the idea of a checklist for further considerations on speed limit changes. So after that, Chris and I both, each of us drafted a checklist, and coincidentally at the same time, Texas was revising its rules on how to consider the 85 mile per hour speed limit criterias and guidelines and just speed zone studies in general. Some of the things that they mentioned were, and our city manager listed those in his weekly memo a few days ago, additional data other than the 85% is police data, street conditions, radar collection data, citizen input, and the street classification under the city's comprehensive plan. So Chris and I drafted each of us drafted checklists based on what all we had heard or read. And after that, we had a meeting with, because this would be a checklist that the staff would complete. And so we had a meeting with the city manager, Scott, Carol, Grant, and Sergeant Michael from the police department to review the drafts. It was after that meeting then the senior staff agreed that they would look at the checklist, both those checklists, and decide how to in a way develop their own checklist or merge those 2 checklists together, do something with a checklist. So that was done, and this is where we are tonight, or this afternoon, is that this checklist has been given to, also Chris and I did make some comments on the draft that the staff had done. And this checklist is now based on what the staff has done at this moment. So this is for us to review and the staff to consider it, any comments of the committee, and then if the committee, whatever the committee does, approves it or whatever, then it would go, I believe, back to the council possibly to be formalized. So Chris, you have some input on this too?
Just that the change in the manual on uniform traffic control devices is a draft. Texas version is a draft about to be approved based on a new national code. And it does relax a little bit the requirement to use the 85th percentile, but it does list a whole bunch of other criteria that can be considered. But again, it basically comes back to saying the final decision is based on engineering judgment. And Carol, may I ask, are we gonna then have part of this attached to the requests that some citizens submit?
This checklist will be part of the submittal form because there are items in here that we are asking the submitter to provide. So that is correct.
But they would see all of it?
They would see all of
Okay.
it.
Carol, would that then require a little modification to the rules and procedures to update the submittal form based on this checklist or anything, or tell them that that's an additional data?
I do not believe so because the rules of procedures doesn't explicitly define what is to be submitted other than a form provided by the city.
A comment I had on the draft checklist on the area that says items not included in the proposed checklist. Trash cans in the street, and that was an item that I know that I felt that on a street where there are no white lines, that for other traffic flow or golf carts or whatever, but where there are no white lines, then the trash cans get put next to the curb. And on a narrow street, that would decrease, because those trash cans are about 3 feet deep, that would decrease the width of the street some and put another hazard in the street. So that was why trash cans have been listed on some of our input.
Would it make as much sense then just to ask if there are curbs on the street and not worry about whether there are trash cans or not? Because we know trash cans go out once a week.
Yeah.
So if there's a curb, then you can assume that the trash can would be outside the curb onto the street itself. So maybe just,
Well, it's
there
in
are
the street.
curbs.
Yeah, it's actually in the roadway.
Well, some people put it on the roadway even when
Some
there's
in the
no curb
driveway,
though,
yeah.
too.
But it just, to me, it was a potential factor that could or should be considered.
My apologies, but I thought we had curb streets on here and I'm not seeing it. And in reviewing it back and forth with several of the staff members, maybe it came off. But we can easily put under the staff report, under street conditions, is it curbed or not, yes or no? We can easily do that.
It's sort of similar to the one up here under street conditions where it says on-street parking with no white lines.
I think the curb
Put
should
the-
be added,
But yeah,
yeah. Under street conditions, a yes or no.
Correct.
Is it curbed? Yes.
correct. I mean, we can add trash cans in the street, yes or no, but everybody puts their trash cans in the street in accordance with our ordinance. Some people do put them on their driveway, but we encourage them to put it on the street. It facilitates the trash pickup.
Right.
So you will always see that answer as a yes. So we're just wondering, we thought this form was something that would help you. So it's up to you. We're happy to put trash cans, yes or no.
Perhaps, how many times trash and recycling, because some neighborhoods have recycling and trash on different days, right?
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
Everybody has.
Oh,
Is,
front gate does.
Oh, never
Currently,
mind.
you are absolutely correct,
I know
yes.
that there are different days for trash and recycling, so that might be worth it to add to where there's two days a week where there is some obstruction on the road, right? And then for the road width, I mean, we just assume whatever the, the full width and then minus, whatever the trash can width is, times 2. Then maybe add road length. How long is that particular road? If we're evaluating something on that street, if it's a short connector type road, is it 5 miles long? Is it 100 yards?
On Noliasi, a narrow street curves, if 2 houses across from each other put out those trash cans,
Yeah.
opposite each other more or less, or even sort of, and then you have parked cars and all too, so
Yeah.
it just seems like one additional potential hazard on any street that doesn't have the white lines to show how far a car should go over.
So, Mr. Cook, under the first page, under street condition, where it says road width, we can put road width and length.
Yeah.
We can add that. We will add the curb street, from what I've heard so far, as well as add whether trash cans are in the road, yes or no.
Then put number of days recycling or trash are picked up, is it once or twice a week? Just extra data point. Then I had one more comment on citizen survey, because we have number of residents impacted. Do we want to put households or houses instead of residents? Just that way, number of houses impacted. Or you could put both, houses and residents.
So number of
Your
homes.
citizen survey, it says number of residents impacted by the request. It's on page 7 of this. I don't know, I think it's the second page in, but just, is it number of houses or is it number of people? Because some may have 1 occupant, one may have 7 occupants.
To change
So-
residents to
Households, yeah.
Households.
Put number of homes.
Yeah, homes, households, whatever they may be, yeah.
That acceptable to everyone? The number of homes impacted?
Are there ever 2 households in one home? Mother-in-law suites or,
The home is on the property,
Yeah.
so it's how many properties
that's
basically.
fine.
And I do agree. I think it'd be difficult to know how many residents are impacted.
Or maybe addresses on the street,
Yeah. Okay.
something like that.
Okay, we'll work on that.
We're asking for clarity on weather conditions.
Correct.
Just,
During the study?
do we need to know if it was rainy weather and that would have slowed people down or not, that impacted the studies or not? In general, probably not, knowing our current weather conditions, but I guess it's more of was it raining or not than anything.
So if we do a 2-week to 30-day study, you want to know the weather conditions on a daily basis or generally? Because most our studies are not 1 day or 2 days. They-
Well, and you're not giving us the data necessarily per day, you're aggregating it too, so.
So just
maybe
generally?
Generally, that rained 2 days out of the 30, or I'd be
I'm
hopeful that it rained.
surprised that you want to track weather conditions in Texas. Give me a break. Oh, it can change often.
Any other questions or thoughts on the draft checklist?
One more, on the first page, under the police department, does the city track complaints that people may call about speeding or issues on the street?
Would have to double check on that.
Yeah, because, obviously you can collect tickets, warnings and all that stuff, but if anytime somebody calls in or sends an email or something like that, if y'all log it,
I would
it'd be
think,
helpful.
yes, because that helps with the enforcement of it. So let me double check on that. I do have one item on page 7, going back for staff clarification. The vehicle pace, I think.
Yes.
Mr.
I
Deputy, that was your
included the
item.
vehicle pace because it is listed in the manual as a factor to be considered along with the 85th percentile and the median or average speed. It is the 10 mile per hour range where most of the traffic is happening. So there are various examples. It really is a good indicator of congestion. And if you did the pace for the whole period, you would see possibly the 85th percentile is 37 miles an hour, but the pace is 25 to 35. So that could influence the decision depending on what the current speed limit is. If most of the traffic is going 25 to 35, a 30 mile an hour speed limit might be more apropos than a 35 or a 25. So it's something to consider. And it might not be the ruling factor every time. But it is in the manual as something to also be considered, which is why I included it originally. Is that,
I'm going to have to check to see if our radar signs can do this, or if this is going to
well,
be
it
a
is,
separate
it's,
software
it would,
program.
it would have, we'd have to know how many instances of 20 miles an hour, how many instances of 20, probably by mile per hour, 20, 21. So for every speed, we'd have to know how many vehicles were counted in that, and then you could build a histogram.
So let us look at our reports that we get from our radar and see how this can be done, if at all.
Okay.
Probably just add average speed on the particular location, right?
Which we already provide.
That's what I say, you already provide how many cars and what time of the
And what
day
the
and all
speed
that.
is,
I don't,
yes.
to me, that'd be about the same thing. I don't want to get this too complicated.
So is the consensus for us to review this and come back with an answer, or not to include the pace?
I think the pace is already covered. I mean, we can figure it out.
I don't know, Chris, how strongly do you like?
I guess we don't have to. Yeah, I just did it because it is listed as one of the factors.
A lot of info.
It seemed to me on the reading all these things over the last several weeks and months that and maybe I'm a little biased on it, but the emphasis was from Texas to balance the 85% and the statistical data with these other factors that may be subjective or judgmental kinds of factors, and to balance those two a little bit better, possibly than previously it had been. But that was just my take on that. So do we, as a committee, all vote to approve it as we modified it or suggested modifications, and then it passes to
First, I would like an answer on the pace. Is it to be included or not in the report, in the checklist?
We need to take a vote.
The pace on page
Pace.
7.
I think what I'm hearing is no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We find in our software program that we can do it.
I'd just be interested to see.
We can, yeah. Okay.
well, do we want to have a motion on this? Motion to
You need one?
Do we need a motion? Or do you have to go and come back with more stuff?
I don't believe we necessarily need a motion. It's up to you if you'd like it. It is it is a consideration item. Probably good to have a motion that you recommend that we fix up this proposed checklist and use it appropriately. I do not believe it needs to go to city council. This is a form that is used by you.
So,
Just requiring that the city staff fill this out whenever whenever somebody submits one, so it's make it
Based on
mandatory.
your decisions today, we can fix this up and then start with the February submittals.
I motion that the city make the recommended changes and that we move forward with using this form.
Yeah, second.
Gosh.
Josh was a second, I think.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No?
We will get it done. Thank you.
Let me make a motion based on the checklist that given the fact that we're going to have a revised procedure in a way with this checklist, I'd like to move that, given the fact that we had those two tie votes a few months ago on Noliase and Battle Intense, that consideration be given to bring those back to the committee based on this new checklist, and for consideration when in February when we meet. Now, having said that, I know that the council is going to be reviewing those based on Ruben Alvera's comment, and it's in the agenda for the next council meeting or so. So that, in any case, I'd like to move that we consider those two denials or tabled items again next February, out of fairness to the people given this new checklist.
Can't. We have to change our rules and procedures to do that.
Well, I'm basing it on, we now have a new procedure in effect with the checklist.
I'm going to go with Mr. Depke. We have to change the rules of procedure. First, let's change it in the rules of procedures. Those items did fail, and there is a rule that they can't be brought back up for 1 year unless there's a new safety, not because we changed the process, but please take a vote if you'd like. But I agree with Vice Chair Depke that we would be not following our rules.
How do folks feel about that? Same too? No? Do we need the 365 changed?
I don't think so. Because evidently council can consider this on their own, which they're doing. So is that right?
So that was my other comment, was I believe the Nola Hassi item, Councilmember Ruben Alvera asked to have a report done on it to close the loop with the city council, because they had referred it back to you. So it is right now scheduled for the November 20th meeting. So if you're going to do anything, I would wait to see what the city council, if they do anything at all. They're not referring it back to you, so I don't believe you can hear it.
Yes, can we since we have a method to collect new information, can we have the city staff fill that out for those two items and see if there's any safety issues or anything on there or anything that may be answered that we glaringly missed whenever we reviewed it? And if there's nothing that's glaringly obvious, then
So again, right now, the item is going to the city council
Yeah.
as a report or consideration, and we can look at that suggestion and
Yeah.
see.
I mean, because the folks that were here were pretty adamant about speeding, and, I feel like we were still a little foggy on the information that was available. And even though I think some of the feedback was there was a lot of residents that did suggest that they wanted it, that speed limit reduced on Nolahase at least. And then, granted, we didn't have all the answers at the time, and then we still voted on it. So that's my only comment on that one.
If we were to change the rule, would it impact those two decisions? Or is it only impacting those moving forward?
I think it depends on the rule change and how the discussion goes and how the motion goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think if new information were to come out through the new process that we all missed, that would provide a glaring reason to revisit it within the 365-day window, we should be flexible enough to allow for that. That's all I'm suggesting.
I think one motion you could make is, since we're talking about the rules of procedures, if you would like to make a motion or a suggestion that the rules be brought back to you in February to amend, you can make that motion, and then the staff can start.
I was waiting until after your staff report, but I was going to ask, in accordance with paragraph 8.3 of the rules of procedure, that we ask for an agenda item to review the rules and procedures, and specifically, we could review the policies of resubmittals and so forth. And so I would like that to be in the next meeting's agenda.
And there might be some other items in the rules of procedure that you might have a consideration of changing, so this would be a good, let's review it. We've served for 1 year, you've been doing this. I know from an administrative standpoint, there is one rule that we do need to change, and that is the posting of the agenda. There's a new law that came out. It's not 72 hours, it's 3 days prior to the meeting. So we're going to need to change that as well. So this is a good thing to do in February.
Taking a look at the procedures now makes sense after a year that we've been doing this with several, things that have come up and requesters, lots of them, to take a look at it now in hindsight and see how it looks for the future.
Here to serve the people, let them, be flexible enough to make sure that we're serving the needs appropriately, right? That's a good time to do it.
Yeah. Are we on to the status report? By Carol.
Thank you. We'd like to give you a status report on the ongoing TSAC submittals. The first one is front gate at Fair Oaks Parkway intersection. The ongoing measures related to this submittal include the radar feedback signs, placement of radar feedback signs. So in September, staff was directed to obtain radar collection during the school term upon receiving the new radars that were budgeted in this fiscal period, which is 25-26. The radars are on order, the radar feedback signs. That is up to the vendor, but we're potentially within 30 days, 40 or 60 days, unless you know something different, Grant?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah. One other measure was a request for a potential northbound left turn lane on Fair Oaks Parkway. In June, the city manager authorized the city's general engineering consultant to perform an analysis of the need for a turn lane. On September 4th, staff and the consultant presented City Council with options to address this intersection. Council agreed to a hybrid left turn lane, which is a shortened lane that avoids the existing culvert and any tree removal. Staff recently received the final design and is performing a review. If all goes well, the next step will be the bid process.
Y'all able to share that with us?
I'm sorry?
Able to share that report or design?
I'm quite
or-
sure we'll report back to you on it,
Good.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, closing that loop, you all started it, yes,
Yeah.
that'd be appreciated, yes. Another ongoing item, as we just spoke about, was the Nole-Hasi speed reduction. On February 26, TSAC did recommend reducing Nole-Hasi to 25 miles per hour due to traffic, pedestrians, children, and street curves. On March 20th, City Council directed staff to bring an ordinance to a future council meeting lowering the speed limit to 25 miles per hour between Dietz Elkhorn and Fair Oaks Parkway. On April 17th, the proposed ordinance failed. A second motion was made referring the request back to TSAC for resident feedback and radar data. That motion did pass. On April 18th, the submitter was informed of the public input process. From May 13th through the 27th, radar signs were placed out, and then they were reinstalled July 15th through the 28th after the GVTC project completion. On August 6th, the survey and the radar feedback results were presented to TSAC. Motion to reduce the speed limit to 25 miles per hour failed. On October 2nd, to close the loop to the City Council, Councilmember Ruben Alvera requested an update of TSAC's action on this particular submittal. The update will be provided to the council on November 20th.
Council at that meeting could decide to reduce the speed limit?
We are providing them with some options because this isn't a workshop setting. There is no consideration, no ordinance being presented, because they do have several options in this item, and that is status quo, leave it alone, ask staff to bring an ordinance, and some other options that could come back to them. They might send it back to TSAC. I don't know at this point. We're still working through that item. But currently, it's scheduled for a workshop, not a consideration.
Carol, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask again. I don't understand that at the council meeting on April 17th, they referred this issue back to our committee. The very next day, city installed 5 30-mile-an-hour speed limits signs on Noliase before this committee had a chance to review it again. And I don't understand how that happened.
So, I'm sorry, just for clarification, they installed 30-mile, which is the speed limit, which was the speed limit at
Yes,
that time?
but the council on April 17th referred this issue back to our committee.
Correct.
It was not on our next agenda in May, okay? But the day after this council meeting, the city installed 5 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs on Noliase before our committee had a chance to reconsider this issue. Because that came up at the last meeting in August. You see what I'm saying? We skipped a meeting. So I don't know what the referral was about if you already put up the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs.
I have a feeling that was more of an internal decision because the speed limit was 30 miles per hour, and we had GVTC
But our
out there
committee had not
working
decided that yet, even from the referral back to us from city council.
to lower it to 25.
Exactly.
Correct. So,
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think that was a maintenance action just because there were so few speed limit signs out there, just to make sure.
I just
people are
don't
aware.
think that makes sense when the committee hadn't even voted about what the speed limit was going to be yet from the referral from city council.
But the speed limit was 30,
True.
and so there was nothing to
I
change
just find it
yeah.
interesting
Well-
that they came with the 5 30-mile-an-hour signs before our committee had a chance to actually vote on the 25-hour.
You say there's only been one 30-mile-an-hour sign up by the parkway, and then all of a sudden, like Sharon is saying, a lot of other ones appeared the next day.
correct, because I think it was noticed that it was a traffic safety issue. The speed limit was 30, and as Grant noted, I think staff went ahead and just posted some 30s to be safe.
That's fine. It was just shocking to me to see that the next day after this issue was referred back to us, and we didn't get to address it till August.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Random, yeah.
My apologies. On May 7th, TSAC recommended City Council authorize the city manager to submit a request to TxDOT to consider reducing Ralph Fair Road within the city to 45 miles per hour due to traffic, the numerous street intersections, and increased population as submitted by the submitter. On June 5th, City Council directed staff to present a resolution at a future council meeting authorizing a submittal to TxDOT. Staff did meet with TxDOT, who noted Camp Stanley had recently requested a traffic study, including the portion within our city. In September, TxDOT did confirm with staff that they will attend the City Council's meeting on December 4th to review and discuss the study they had performed from Camp Stanley's request.
Clarify,
Do what?
this is their study based on the Camp Stanley request?
Correct, because it involved through the
So they
city.
didn't do anything new because we asked? Okay,
No, but that does not mean that we can still ask.
yeah.
The submittal for Rolling Acre speed reduction. On May 7th, TSAC recommended reducing Rolling Acres Trail from Ammon Road to Silver Spur to 30 miles per hour due to inconsistent posted speed limits, narrow road, sightline issues, sunshine problems, mailboxes, pedestrians, and cyclists, and to add cautionary curve ahead signs. In June, the cautionary ahead signs were installed by the staff. On October 16th, City Council approved an ordinance reducing the speed limit to 30 miles per hour. All the required publications have been completed and speed limit signs are on order. I found out today that within the next 2 weeks. The next item is Fair Oaks Parkway and Triple Crown. This is a new submittal that has not come to TSAC. We are working through this. We received this submittal in October. It is for a stop sign to be placed on Fair Oaks Parkway at Triple Crown due to limited sight distance coming eastbound. In other words, coming from IH-10 to the Country Club. Triple Crown intersects. Staff in the city's GEC are currently working through this submittal. If needed, staff anticipates this item to be presented to TSAC in February.
And that, that's limited sight distance for the people exiting Triple Crown to
Sorry.
the Parkway, correct?
Correct. And I can answer any questions you may have, but hopefully that gives you a summary of our.
The second to the last item you skipped?
This one is not a city or a TSAC.
Yeah,
It wasn't
but you
in the
included
city,
it.
but we had a submission that came in requesting a left turn on the exit off of IH-10, the access road, turning left on Fair Oaks Parkway into the city. And TSAC did consider the submittal. They got the
Text out.
lane changes altered, funded, and it is completed as of October.
And I was almost hit once because of the change.
Yeah,
People not paying attention, yeah.
People have turned left from that straight lane quite a few times.
Believe they're not used to it, and
Yeah.
once they get used to it, hopefully it'll help. Yes.
Last item, Triple Crown.
Yes, sir.
Do I recall correctly that that did not come to the committee?
Correct. It
Not
has
yet.
not come to the committee. We received it in October, and we are working through the submittal. We want to bring you something that is concrete. We didn't want to bring you something without some background. So we are working with our GEC, our general engineering consultant, to determine the site limitations, if it's warranted. So we're working through that.
The items, one thing I was remiss in the beginning is I forgot to introduce our new committee member, Frank Trapasso, who is here, and also the fact that Sharon and Denise were the incumbents and reapplied, I guess, was the
Reappointed,
procedure,
yeah.
and the council approved it. So we're glad to have the committee here in full force. John couldn't make it today, but I guess we'll see him in February.
I'd just like to thank the committee because I live on Rolling Acres, and you guys got the ball rolling, and Rolling Acres will soon, I guess, have signs that say speed limit reduced to 30 miles an hour. I also I had a little time to look today. I looked at the city map of all the streets, and I think coming up on the council agenda tomorrow is
Post Oak? Meadow?
Silver Spur and Post Oak. And they are the only two streets in the northern part of the city, north of Keelan, that are 35. I also took a look in the south, and there's only two streets that run 35. That'd be that'd be the Parkway and the Deeks. Everything else from the south is at 30 or lower. So the city speed limit basically is going to be 30 unless there's some streets that we look at in the future to change. So thank you for making the recommendation.
Very good. So,
Al, just Real quick, I'd like to thank Carol and our city staff for supporting our committee and all the help. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I move we adjourn.
Second, adjourn. Josh, second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the time is 3:45.
Very efficient meeting.
45 minutes, that's good.